guys, it's Amanda from Perfectionism Prints, and today I'm going to talk about a brand new insert that is in my shop right now, and it is called the Ideal Week Bundle. I'm going to show you how I set up my ideal week. Okay, so I'm opening up to my compass section, which is where I include goals and routines, and this is the start of the Ideal Week Bundle. And first you'll see a page of instructions. Let me zoom in here. So, and this fun little quote that I came up with: don't spend so much time dreaming that you sleep through the doing. I think a lot of times with goals, we are really good about thinking them up and not so good about the implementation, or at least that's how it tends to work for me. So I am always trying to figure out ways to be better about actually doing the things that I am planning and saying are important to me. So that's what that quote's all about. And then I just have like a little bit of information here on this sheet about what this insert is, what it's useful for. So it's a weekly template, first of all. As we'll get to in a minute, it's a full week laid out. But instead of something that you would write something new on every week, it's like a template for an average week for you. And then it's also a tool for goal setting. Like if you have certain goals, it's not a project related goal necessarily, but it's a goal that you have to make steady, consistent progress on, such as losing weight or learning a new language or something like that. This is a great way to help plan out when in your week you're going to be working on that goal. All right, so we have another page of instructions here. And here, let me zoom out so we can see all of it. And you don't have to use these instructions at all. I mean, you don't even have to print them out, but I did want to include them because I think that a lot of people like to have at least an idea of how the inserts were designed. And then if you want to do them differently, that's great. But if you want to follow my method, you have that all laid out for you right here. There are 4 main steps to these instructions. First, identify. Second, prioritize. Third, schedule. And fourth, consult. And I also list the page numbers here of the inserts. If you print this out to pre-cut paper, your page numbers may not print, just depending on your printer margins. But if you print and cut, the numbers will print. But just for reference, I'm considering this identify page as page 1 and the back of it as page 2. This dashboard is page 3. And then the ideal week pages, the template, are page 4 and 5. And so I reference those page numbers here in the instruction section. So first, we want to identify what we want to get done in each of these categories listed here on the identify page, and you have blank categories too, so you can add in your own. And once you write down what you want to do in each category, then you're going to put a check mark next to the day of the week that you, day or days of the week that you plan to get that done in. And then you go through and you either highlight or put an asterisk next to the 5 to 6 weekly tasks or events that are your absolute top priority, that you, even if you don't get anything else done in an average week, those are the things you want to get done. And then we'll go to the prioritize section here. So these things that you designated as the most important on your identify section, those 5 to 6 things will go in the must do list here on the ideal week spread. And then it says add other tasks or events to the do more list. These can be considered medium priority. So that next kind of tier of priority tasks is going to go here in the do more list. And then I also point out here, you can't do it all. In order to fit everything in that you want to get done, you also are going to have to probably take some things out. So it just helps to see that visually sometimes, which is why I have a do less column here. So this might be things like scrolling on social media without any time limits, binge watching TV, I don't know, all kinds of things could go in here. Then the third section is schedule. So now you want to go through and actually map out what your ideal week would look like. And so I recommend that first you put down any standing events or appointments. For instance, your work schedule, if you have, a consistent work schedule, or if you have like a therapy appointment every week or an allergy appointment every week, or, you get the idea. Put those things in first, then go through and put schedule in the items in your must do list, then in the do more list, and then you can go back to this identify page and kind of fill in the rest. And the reason that I printed this front and back, or that's how I designed it to print, is so you can take it out, and when you're looking at your week, you don't have to keep flipping back and forth. You can just take this page out and reference it as you are mapping out your week here. So that's why I designed it that way. Finally, the last step, we can't forget about this, is consult. So make sure you check back in with your ideal timetable or this weekly template when doing your weekly planning, because it's not going to help you if you don't look at it ever again. So the idea is that you're not reinventing the wheel every week. You have like this template, and then when you do your weekly planning, you can reference it. And I mean, obviously things come up. You may not be able to do everything every week. That's why it's called an ideal week. But, at least maybe you can do like those top priority things. And make sure you are not forgetting about anything in your weekly planning. So now we'll sit down and I will actually map out my ideal week. All right, so spiritual and personal development. So for me, this is mainly going to be spiritual things. I want to go to church weekly. I want to read the Bible daily, but that's part of my morning routine. So I am not going to write that separately on here. I'm just going to, you can write down your morning and evening routines on another page. And then on the weekly insert, you can just kind of block out the morning routine as opposed to writing like each and everything that you want to do. So that's why I'm not writing that separately here. So we'll just leave that one for right now. Now for health and wellness, I want to work out at least 3 times a week. And I want a meal plan. I want a meal prep. And I want to do weekly grocery shopping, or for me right now, that's a grocery order because I love Kroger Click List. For family, I'd like to have some sort of family outing or activity weekly, just kind of something special that we do as a family together. I'd like to have, I'm not even going to necessarily say a date night with my husband, but intentional time with him. So even if it's just kind of like sitting down watching our favorite show at night before bed, it's nice to have that intentional time blocked out where we kind of put our phones away and make it a point to spend time with each other. I'd also like to call my parents weekly. All right, now planning and administration. This is where you can write out like your daily and weekly planning. So again, I'm not going to write out my daily planning on here because that's part of my morning routine. And so I'm going to say weekly planning, sort and file mail. I want to review my GTD inserts and process inboxes. So I have a paper inbox in my planner. I have a digital inbox on my phone, just in my notes app, so that if I'm somewhere where I can't reach for my planner right away, but I have an idea, I put it into my notes app, and that way nothing kind of gets lost. And then I also have a physical inbox, like where I put like mail and things like that. And so I want to make sure I'm going through that once a week. Now, I think you could also put like meal planning in the planning and administration section instead of health and wellness. I mean, that's kind of a judgment call. All right, so for work, I want to check Spravato prescriptions because I'm doing these intranasal treatments for treatment-resistant depression. It's a brand name of Spravato at work, and the prescriptions we order one at a time. So I need to make sure that I'm writing those prescriptions out every week. I want to check encounters for billing issues. Sometimes if we don't check a certain box or do a certain thing in the electronic record, it won't be able to be billed, and that's a problem. Okay, and then for home, I want to do some sort of organizational project weekly, clearing out the junk drawer, something like that. I'd like to do laundry probably 2 days a week. I ideally would do laundry every day, but honestly, that doesn't happen a lot. We're very blessed to have a cleaning service come, so a lot of the actual cleaning tasks I delegate to them, which is really nice. So that's all I'm going to put for now. Oh, and then I want to do a 15-minute tidy. Although, honestly, that should probably go in my evening routine. And then I want to add a section for my Etsy shop. I'd like to design and release an insert weekly or add new sizes. I would like to post to Instagram 4 times a week. I would like to upload and film, I guess, a YouTube video once a week. I think that's all I'm going to put. I'm going to leave this last section blank for right now. All right, so now we go through and we figure out like which days these things are going to be done on. So church will be Sunday. All right. And now we go through and highlight or put an asterisk next to priorities. So I have my Kokuyo two-tone color marker here, highlighter. All right, so my priorities are going to be church, working out, let's see, family activity. You don't have to choose just one from each category either. Weekly planning. Checking those prescriptions. Designing an insert. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things. So that's perfect. And now we want to go through and I'm going to take these out too. And I'm going to transfer the priority stuff to this must-do list. Now the way these lines are set up, I did subdivide each line here into 2, but depending on the size of insert you get or how big or small you write, excuse me, you can either use these just as one line or you can split it into 2. Just tried to give some flexibility there. So church, workout. All right, and then we put the medium priority tasks in the do more section. All right, and then what am I going to do less of? So for me, that's going to be less mindless scrolling, I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna put for right now. All right, and now we're going to add standing appointments. So for me, I work 4 days a week. And so that's what I'm marking out here. Work 10-hour days. Another standing appointment would be church, although we're doing virtual church right now, but still. My boys, we do bedtime every night between 7 and 8. So now I'll go ahead and add in my must-do tasks here. So I already put church in, and now I'm going to put in my times to work out, and I can look and see like what days I designated here. So I said Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday. So on Wednesday, I want to work out in the morning, and actually I want to do the same thing on Saturday and Sunday. All right. And then family activity we're going to do on Saturday, and we would probably do it in the mid-morning to maybe like 1 o'clock, because my kids, I try to get them to take a nap in the afternoon. And it's okay if we don't do it at the same time every week, but this just kind of shows me, like, again, in an ideal week, when would we do it? Okay, so next on the must-do list is weekly planning. So I usually do that on Sunday afternoons. So we'll say here, and let's see, my Spravato prescriptions, I'm going to make sure that I write on Fridays. And I'm going to do that at the end of the day. Designing and releasing inserts, I usually do on Wednesdays. And then we'll design and upload to Etsy, depending on the insert. Sometimes this can take a lot longer than this period of time, but if it's like a simple insert, I can usually design and resize and upload it like in 4 to 5 hours. Now, if it's like the collaboration that I did with Berlin, it took me, the editable ones take a long time. That took me like about 4 or 5 times as long. All right, and then in the afternoon, usually I am doing like film, video, and editing. All right. And so I got everything on my must do. So now I'm going to add the things on my do more list. And again, I can reference back to the sheet to see like what days that I want to do everything on. Okay, so for Instagram posts, I will plan out a time for posting. All right. And then I would go through, and if I have anything else on this list here that I haven't added in, I would add it in now. And so I can go through and add like my morning and evening routines as well. I'm still like hammering out exactly what those are going to look like in the new year, so I'm not going to add them yet, but you could add them wherever you want to. And then, I mean, you can add other things too, like meal times or whatever you want. So, anyway, guys, I hope that this was helpful, and I hope you guys enjoy the inserts. I'd love to know how you guys are using them. So feel free to tag me when if you post on Instagram or do your own YouTube video about your ideal week and planning out your ideal week. And I just want you guys to know that I appreciate all of you so much. I just have so much fun designing these and interacting with you all. And it's so nice to have a community of people who get it, like you guys get it. So thank you for that and for that community. And Merry Christmas to those of you who celebrate Christmas, and happy holidays to everybody. And I will talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.